Hi there, my friends, and thank you for tuning in again to another session of Positive Enrichment. This is Ma McCauley, and you're very, very welcome. Last week, we talked about the importance of honoring your role to yourself, knowing that there is nobody on this earth who is as important for you to pay attention to as you are to yourself. Because if you are not the best that you can be, if you are not feeling the best, if you are not in the best emotional space, spiritual space, financial space, then how can you give of yourself to other people? My message for you going into the next week today is about commitments. You have to learn to honor your commitments. Honor your commitments to yourself. Honor your commitments to other people. When you learn to do that, then you start to build relationships. And relations, you cannot live on the earth without building relationships with people. Now, what kind of relationships do you want to build? What is the quality of relationships you want to build? All that depends on how you honor your commitments. People want to have long lasting relationships with people who can not only say they're going to do something, but they can follow through and do it. Now, nobody is perfect. We know that. I always stress on that. I always stress on the fact that life does not always go the way we want it to go. So that means there will be times when you say you're going to do something and you drop the ball. Something comes up, something important. Sometimes it's a mere human thing that we actually forget. We actually forget that we said we were going to call somebody. We forget that we were going to drop somebody off somewhere. Those are the little things. But apart from that, there are some huge commitments we make that we ought to honor. But again, I stress on this fact. Who here has not broken their commitment to somebody? Even a lease, that is a commitment. But the message I want you to take into next week is there is no commitment we make that even when we drop the ball, that we cannot do something to fix it. We might not be able to bring it back to its original state. We might not be able to meet with that appointment that we were supposed to do. There are some things that we ought to do that when the time passes and when we break the commitment, it has some repercussions. For example, if you do not pay your rent, after a while, you can get kicked out, right? If you buy a house and you sign a contract to have it built or something, after a while, if you don't honor your financial commitment, you can have your house seized from you. The same thing with a car. That goes for relationships as well. If you tell your business partner, for example, that you are going to commit to a particular amount of money in a certain investment, and they go on that commitment and they go all out and they do their part, and then you come and you don't do what you're supposed to do, and the deal falls apart and people lose money. Eventually, stuff like that makes you lose your relationships with people. That goes for friendships as well, marriages, friendships, relationships with your siblings, with your family members. We have to learn to honor our commitments. And if we drop the ball, because we are human, there's nothing stopping you from trying to fix it. There is nothing, especially anything that has to do with human beings, that if you come with a sincere heart and you say, you know what, I am so sorry. I dropped the ball. I failed in my commitment. But if you give me an opportunity, I would love to make it up. Learn to do that. Do not just assume that just because you've done something wrong or you disappointed people that you can come back to them and say, hey, you know what, I'm sorry. Give me an opportunity. Because you know what? That person you're talking to has dropped a ball sometime. That person you're talking to has also maybe, reneged on the commitment that they were supposed to do. So do not just assume that people are unforgiving. People want to know that you understand that commitments are important to them. And if you drop the ball, you say you're sorry and you try to do better. But don't let it become the kind of thing where you say you're sorry and then you do the same thing again. You say you're sorry, you do the same thing again. That kind of behavior tends to make you lose relationships. So, my thing for you going into this week is that you have the best life, is that you honor your role to yourself, you remember just how important you are to yourself, and that you make commitments. Do not be afraid. It's important to make commitments, but most of all, it's important to keep your commitments. And if you find that you've broken your commitment to somebody, to your job, to a contract, ask for forgiveness and see if they can give you the opportunity to do better. Let me hear from you. Again, I want you to visit my blog, Pearls of Our Lives. I want you to write me. Go on my Facebook page, Ma Mekolle. That's MAHMEKOLLE. I want to hear from you. And during this week, I have amazing messages lined up for you, and I'll be in touch with you. It's always my pleasure. Have a good day.